Hello and welcome back to the continuation of the topic pregnancy and nutrition. If you joined us last week, we began looking at how pregnant women need to eat the right food at the right proportion at the right time. Everything should be right so that you can have your body healthy, your system healthy, and your baby or babies, that's if you have twins, healthy, because we don't want our women always struggling and fighting for their life every time they put to bed and all of that. And I have been speaking with two amazing women who have been helping us to understand this topic to the very, very important level. And then, so I've been speaking with Madam Felicia Danso. She is the head of nutrition at the Tamale Central Hospital, and also Miss Jennifer Mwako. She's a student nutritionist here also in Tamale, helping us to understand all of that. And I want to say a very big thank you to the Thanks Beauty Salon for my hair, Annie's Collections for my shoes, and also to the Northern Community Eye Hospital here in Tamale. You can locate them on the Sanargu Road, 400 meters north of the stadium runabout, on your way to Sanargu, just before you get to the education office on your left. They work from Mondays to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, and 10 a.m. to 12 noon on public holidays. For all your eye care needs, please contact them for general eye care screening. They provide eyeglasses, cataract surgery, anything you want about your eye. Just get in contact with them and they'll give you nothing but the best. And also to the Savannah International Academy here in Tamale. They provide the Cambridge Assessment International Education, or you can say the Cambridge International School, they are affiliate. So it's not the normal Ghana curriculum that they use, where they are above for some kakao. So if you want your child or your children to have the best kind of education from 6 years to 18 years, get to the Savannah International Academy. You can contact them on 024-268-4215 or check up on them on their website at www.sia.edu.gh, and they will give you nothing but the best, and it's very easy to get admission in the school. Yeah, so let me start with Jennifer. What are some of the foods you think I need to avoid when I see that I'm pregnant?
First of all, the foods you need to avoid are processed foods.
Processed?
Yes, okay. Processed foods, say processed sausages, drinks, fizzy drinks, soda, those, those sugar sweetened beverages. You need to cut them and eat more healthier foods. You need to eat things like fruits, you need to take veggies. Exactly. Those are the kind of foods you need to eat, because those ones will help you and your baby. But with the sugar drinks, diabetes, those other stuff, it will end up giving you those kind of diseases. And with the sodium foods that contain most processed food contain a lot of sodium, which is going to cause problems for you.
So something like pizza when I'm pregnant. Okay, I don't want to be too specific, but maybe should we reduce the intake, like pizza, the shawarma?
Those kind of things, you have to just reduce the intake.
Those are the favorite food is pizza. When you're pregnant, I wonder how. Okay, so you should eat more of natural foods. If I get you. Okay, so how will I know that I'm malnourished?
First, you can tell. If you have to be diagnosed by a nutritionist or a health personnel that you are malnourished. You can't just sit and...
So maybe if I'm losing weight, it's not just a way to just say that I'm
No, you have to visit the hospital first.
Okay. Let me come to Madam Felicia. So just to pick out from there. So it's not losing weight is not just a sign that I'm malnourished, but maybe...
Yeah, so there are assessments that will be done. Then we have the body assessment. So the BMI is one of them. We measure parts of your body, compute it, and then be able to tell whether the weight loss is resulting into an undernutrition, okay, or you are malnourished. Then we can have blood tests run, okay, and one of the indicator is the anemia. One of them is anemia. So once you do a full blood count, and then we take your HB, the results come out, and we look at the HB, and the HB falls below a certain cutoff. So for pregnancy, if your HB falls below 11 grams per deciliter, then we are saying that you are anemic, okay, and that is a micronutrient deficiency. Okay, you are deficient in iron. I get you. You can be deficient in phosphorus. Can be deficient in magnesium.
Is what?
Magnesium, they are nutrients.
Okay. How you mentioned phosphorus? Hey.
Magnesium. You can be deficient. Zinc. You can be deficient in zinc. Not the zinc we use for the. Yeah. So there are several micronutrients. Those ones you need them in very smaller proportions, smaller amounts, minute. Your eye cannot see them. But they are, when they are missing or you are deficient, the impact is great. Okay, so we normally would describe it as a hidden form of hunger. The ones that when you are deficient in, that is mostly seen, the macronutrients, the energy, the bigger ones. If you are deficient in fats, you don't have a lot of fat stores. That one can easily be seen on you. Energy levels are low. You yourself will feel it. Say, oh, I'm getting weaker.
Okay,
and things.
so when you continue, then that should be a sign that you need to eat well.
Prompt you. Go. You will say, I need to eat well. What am I going to eat? You may end up eating what your body doesn't need.
Wow.
And neglecting that which the body needs. So that is where you will need the technical person to help you, the nutritionist to help you.
So if I come to say the Tamale Central Hospital, is it for free? Is it covered by health insurance? Or I have to go and see? I need to know that as well, because you're asking me to eat, and maybe if I come to Charlie, teach me how to eat, you have to pay.
Definitely. You know, there are areas you would pay. So if it's a private facility, you would pay.
Okay.
In the public facilities, it's covered by health insurance.
Okay.
I get.
So I can just walk in and say, I want to see the nutritionist.
You want to see the nutritionist, yes. But then it's a specialized area. So you would need to go for general OPD consultation. Then the doctor there or the physician there would then refer you, depending on what he has seen. He says, no, you need to see a nutritionist. Then they will refer you to come and see us. Okay, because my job, I cannot request for certain things to be done on you. Okay, so the physician would have to see you, request for certain things to be done. When he sees it and he says, no, this is not the area I can handle, let me send it to the specialized people to handle based on the evidence that the labs have generated. Okay.
Wow.
So, for example, we are talking about the HB in pregnancy. So you are required to do your HB as part of the medical assessment that is done on you. So the lab, you go to the lab. That's the normal thing. So you go to the lab. There are, catalog of things that will be done on you. Your HB comes out, it's less than 11. Okay. So you are given routine medications. Okay. Amongst them, we have the multivitamin. That's normally the red. Then we have the folic acid, which is the yellowish looking or brown. Then we have the folate, normally green looking. So those are the routine medications that are given in at ANC, right? So you are giving them to take every day till the pregnancy is over. I was just going through some articles, and one of them said that WHO actually recommends that you even take your iron and folic acid up to 3 months after after birth. Okay, that's the postpartum period, so that the body can recover.
Okay, so there are some pregnant women who are able to even take their medicines. We hear of some who stop taking their medicine because it doesn't taste well, they don't have appetite to even eat, to even take their medicine, because some of them have to eat before they take their medicine. How can we encourage them to still, because if we asking them to take, to eat well. I believe that medications also come as a way of trying to stay healthy. What are some of the measures that we can really encourage them to be at par with these things?
So one of the things is what we are doing now. We are educating. And you see, many people, when you come to the hospital, especially at ANC, no facility will begin ANC services without health education. It's done. And during that period, you are given the information as to why you need those medications to be taken and other information that will help you go through your pregnancy successfully. But the challenge is that many will come after the education session is over. So they don't get that information.
So like every day, every sitting?
Every day there is a session, an education session that happens before consultation begins. So no facility would start attending to pregnant women without having an education session.
In a hurry, I have to go to
That's the point.
I have to go to work. My boss just gave me 2 hours.
But if we continue doing that, we will lack the information that will help us to be able to go through the pregnancy well. What's the point in carrying a pregnancy for 9 months and then giving birth to a baby that you are not proud of? You look at the baby and it brings sadness to you. You must be glad. And those are the things, the steps that you have to go through. There is no shortcut. If we want shortcuts, then that is where we open ourselves for, complications to set in. Okay, we need to make time for pregnancy. That's why it's not the woman's only affair. It is the entire family's affair, and it is the husband's affair.
That's point. I will come back to it. I want you to hit it very hard because the husbands,
yes,
especially in our setting,
wonderful,
who have more than one wives, was not to get pregnant, you are neglected. I remember I went for an outreach and I met a woman and we were looking at some of these topics and she was like, ever since she got pregnant and 2 years after her delivery, she has not slept with her husband. So that's like 3 years, because as soon as they know you are pregnant, that whole 9 months, your husband, because they feel it's unclean. Some feel it like that. Or even if they have, because it comes also with complications. If they have to sleep with you, you advise how the men should sleep with a pregnant woman. They don't want to go through all that stress. So if I have 3 wives and one is pregnant, go your way and let me have fun with the other. And I found out that when that neglect is done, they don't really have time to even ask, how are you doing? All they care about is, there was this incident that happened and somebody went to the hospital to see the wife who had put to bed. He got to the hospital, went, he said, oh, Kaula. He said, oh, Alafi. Just went straight, took a picture of the baby, put it on Facebook and say, oh, Nkanna, I'm coming, and run out of the hospital. He didn't even check if the wife was doing fine, if the wife was okay, and he just left.
That's sad. And those are instances we see every day in the facility. There was an instance, a woman, one of the nutritionists at the ANC referred a case to me because she felt she wasn't able to handle it. So she came to the office and told me about the case. And when I spoke with the woman in my office, she started crying and she said, Madam, I need my husband to have sex with me, but he's pushing me off. And the woman was in tears. And so, and in that situation, it will affect everything she does. It will affect how much food she eats. And she further said that she virtually fends for herself. She has to go to the market. She's a businesswoman. She would go do all of that, come. And if she needs something that's, oh, my dear, can you help me get this? Oh, are you lapam?
You like that so much.
You like, because, excuse me, you like doing that too much. There's a small pregnancy. You're taking advantage of sending me up and down. Am I your baby?
And I learned one pregnant woman asked her husband for malt. And then she had to beg the doctors to add it to the prescription. Because if you go and tell your husband that they say I should do, they'll say no, you're using the pregnancy as a carrot to eat. Like there's this way we say it in the local language, like as a way to eat well or to eat nice food. Like on a normal day, would you even take malt? And I think after the prescription, she was just there and she asked the husband for money. The husband insulted her that is what they do. And they start, and they spoil and they start sleeping around with other guys because of malt. And I'm like, how much is malt? On a normal day, how many? I can take one crate. Like, how? So I think that it also boils back to income. If the woman is, it's fine and she's okay. So please, the men who are not married, I beg you, if I hear that you insult your wife because she asks you for malt, some people, But I think that women watching, we should also understand that it's also important, especially young ladies, because I think that we are those who cannot proudly imagine I'm not married and I don't even have the resources. I won't be able to even come and say I want to see a nutrition because it's expensive. But how are we, like, I'm just thinking, how can we really put the men, like maybe if a husband is watching, let's talk to them passionately. How can they get involved in making sure that their wives are eating healthy? But before we get into that, let's go for a break. When we are back, men, listen carefully. Do stay tuned.
Savannah International Academy is an international school located in Tamale, Ghana. We award the Cambridge IGCSE and A-level certificate. Running parallel is SIA4, our curriculum enrichment program. SIA, nurturing the next generation of African leaders. SIA, thinking global, acting local. Give your child a holistic education at SIA. Contact us now.
I have always said that young women should empower themselves, and people are thinking that we are just on the trend of feminism. Well, I see myself as a gender advocate. If the woman is wrong, she's wrong, we correct her. If the man is wrong, he's wrong, we correct him. But it is more nice, beautiful, and sweet that you have your own money, that you are hungry, you take yourself out, and malt, 3 cedis, 4 cedis, 2 cedis, 50 pesos. You can get more to buy, and you are humiliated by somebody who saw you and say I love you, to marry you, or even to date you, a boyfriend. And at the end of the day, because you want more while you are pregnant, he humiliates you. I believe that you and I know that in Ghana right now, it's very difficult to get blood in the hospitals, and it's better to prevent so that you get to the stage where you have to even if it's available to buy. And I know people who even charge, they'll say, okay, I'm O positive, I'm coming to donate. If I donate 1 pound of blood, it's this amount. And assuming someone is taking 2,000, I know people who even pay 2,000 for just 1 pound. And because if you don't pay, the person will die. Let's not get to that point. I'm getting emotional on this, but yes, let's delve into that. Husbands.
Yes. So husbands, it's high time we take a particular interest in the pregnancy. Okay? Because without you, in the first place, the pregnancy would not have been there.
That's what they don't understand. They get us pregnant.
Yes. So if you are not there, I will not be carrying the pregnancy. So once you are part of it, it's a journey for the two of us. Don't leave it only on the woman. Once you do that, then you have already told the woman that, look, you are not my business. Okay? Others would feel that it's only the baby. Okay, is it because of the baby, not you?
Yes. It's always been the perception, like when a woman is pregnant and like, if not for the baby, I'd have beaten you, or I would have done this to you, or if not, yes. And that's how it starts. That is why when they are abused, so I'm staying because of the children.
So follow your wife to the hospital so that you also benefit from the information she's getting.
And she jumps the queue and go to work.
Yes, we do that. Once your husband follows you to the antenatal, you'll be taken care of.
Wow.
So we are doing that to encourage male participation, okay? Because all this while it's only women.
Even at the family planning centers,
yes,
you only see only women going. Meanwhile, it's the two of you that.
Yeah, so follow her there, so that you also know the information she's giving. So you don't think she's coming to take advantage of the pregnancy to request for things that you can't afford. And in counseling, we don't prescribe what you should eat. Like, though we do it in a form.
Like you give opinions, suggestions.
Yes, we suggest. Then you tell us what you can afford or what you can easily have access to. Then with that, we see how can we make that nutritionally adequate for you. So we will not go prescribing, go and take this, go and take that, when you can't afford it. Then our job is useless. Okay? So come along, come and know what your wife has to do, so that when she's not even doing it, you would monitor her for us. There are women that don't take their medications because of misconceptions. Some claim that when they take them, they overeat and then the baby will come big and they cannot push. So because of that, they will not take them.
Some say when they take, they lose their sexual urge.
Usually. I'm hearing things.
Yeah.
Okay, so come. So if you already have a good appetite, in the routine medications, we will not add a multivitamin, because that will make you eat excess. Okay.
So if you naturally lose, I don't know if you've encountered women who naturally lose their appetite during pregnancy.
Yes.
What can they do to revive it? Is it the multivitamins that you add to them?
So we would add the multivitamins to boost the appetite. Okay. Then we would encourage you to take smaller meals. Okay. So you realize that you are not able to eat like the way you would normally eat. So instead of finishing a plate or half plate, you say, oh, just some 4 or 5 spoons within this interval. Okay, yeah, so that you are able to get something inside you. So that's what so husbands should come and find out.
And boyfriends.
And also the girls and the women, stop requesting for fizzy drinks, fried rice, cola, you know, those ones. It doesn't give you anything.
Take Sobolo.
Take Zoncom. They'll say I'm lowering their standards. You know, but
nobody can natural drinks that we all know.
But equally, go for the animal source proteins. When the guy wants to buy you a bottle of cola, Coca-Cola or Fanta,
don't kill my baby for me.
You know, just tell him that I would want egg, some mbayaya, some guinea fowl, some chicken, some meat here. You know, yes, those are the ones that will help your body to make more blood. Yes, some more blood for the baby. Those other ones will only increase your energy and calorie needs, make you prone to diabetes and hypertension, and you'll be battling with that in later life.
Great. Let me come to Jennifer. Let's hit the nail on the head. What is malnutrition? So that we're looking at nutrition, let them understand what, if they don't take the nutrients, what is malnutrition?
Malnutrition, it comes about when you are deficient in certain nutrients. Yes, there are different forms of malnutrition. There's stunting, there's underweight. There are different forms of malnutrition. Each comes through like when the kind of nutrients you are deficient in. Yeah, so when you don't take enough carbohydrates, we have what outcomes, the consequences. When you don't take enough protein, you get consequences. That's how it goes about. So malnutrition is just basically being deficient in a certain type of nutrient.
How can we manage it? I think we've looked a bit about that, but I just want these major tips. So in managing it, we've looked at going to the hospital early, we've looked at husband being involved in. But are there other key things or key areas that you think that we really have to highlight in wanting to manage malnutrition? You think that the health system in the country should do better in helping to manage malnutrition?
Yeah, most of the times it's about advocating. educating people about it. You have to let them know what it is and how it can reduce productivity. Yes, most of the time that's what we normally do. We go out there, we have to educate people on the importance of eating well and eating healthy.
So if I don't eat well and then let's say finally 9 months is up, my baby is in, what are the effects of malnutrition on the baby?
Low birth weight. Your baby comes out and then it's not the normal weight for a baby. Yes, low birth weight. And on you, the mother, you can also find problems. You can bleed to death, anemia. There are so many other complications that comes about when you don't eat well and when you are malnourished.
Okay, so in that at the time that the baby is born and you see that the baby is malnourished, what can be done to
there are
put
mostly
the baby?
Interventions. Most of the times when the baby is born, the first thing is breastfeeding. You don't give the baby any food or water for the first 6 months. Yes. So, yeah.
You don't give the baby what?
It's exclusive
For 6 months, no water.
No water, no food.
That is how it's supposed to be.
Yes, only breast milk.
Okay.
Yes.
You watching, please ask yourself if you're mother, have you done that? Because I think it's a major challenge. I believe you've experienced that in your
especially
as well. In the northern region. So apart from the exclusive breastfeeding, like when the child starts eating, before we go there, we looked a bit about gaining your body back or getting your nutrients back. What do I do after I have especially for the first 2-3 months
After birth?
Yes.
Right. So you will need to for the 4-star diet. It's something whether pregnant, lactating, adolescent, young child or infant. Okay, we can go by it. Boy, girl can go by it. Yes. So getting your body back, you realize that you gain excess weight after birth because the body stores a lot of fats to protect the baby, okay, in the womb. So most women will look at first trying to shed that excess weight. And she was speaking about exclusive breastfeeding and you were asking questions. That is one of the ways that can help women to come back to their normal shapes after
I
birth.
also learned it's a natural family planning method.
It is.
I have always wondered how it works. I remember I was at a salon one time, I think 2 or 3 years back, and somebody was holding someone else's baby, and I think the person who, like the nanny or somebody, mistakenly gave the baby water, and the woman kept shouting. I was like, "Do you want me to get pregnant?
Yes.
Do you want me to?" And I was like, and then that was funny. So I was like, so up till today, I have been trying to understand the connection of the baby and me and my husband having sex. I don't get it. How will the baby drinking water make me get pregnant?
Okay, so you see, there are 2 hormones that comes to play.
Okay.
The estrogen and the progesterone. Okay, those 2 hormones. Now, when that for the family planning method in exclusive breastfeeding, there are conditions. That's why the woman was screaming all around.
Yes.
Your child must be less than 6 months. Okay. And you must do exclusive breastfeeding. Only breast milk without giving anything. Because as the baby is suckling or breastfeeding, the hormones are being produced more. The progesterone is being produced more.
Because
that suppresses
directly to the baby's mouth. Okay.
That suppresses the ovulation. I get it. And your menses should not have begun.
Okay, so for the first 6 months,
Yes.
it's possible that you give birth and you not menstruate.
Yes, for me, for all my 3 kids, I practice exclusive breastfeeding. Currently, my last boy he'll be 2 in November, but we are still breastfeeding.
Yes.
Yes,
You've done very well, Sam. Oh, maybe because you're a nutritionist. You have to practice what you...
Yeah, and you need to do that so that you yourself would form that belief.
No, so for 6 months, you have to give the child only breast milk.
Yes.
And for 6 months, you have to make sure that the child does not even water.
Not even water. Because water, God is a wonderful creator. He has given the woman's breast everything.
And I think I learned that's the only food with all the nutrients.
Everything. For the first 6 months, iron in breast milk begins to go low at 6 months. That is why we begin introducing other foods at 6 months, not earlier than 6 months. I get me. So, you know, after birth, you lose blood, you bleed. I get me for some time. And as you are breastfeeding, so after
birth, so maybe if I give birth today, the blood comes normally like I'm menstruating.
Oh
right?
Yes, it flows like that.
For like averagely,
sometimes 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Huh?
Oh yes.
You be like when we come like continuous 2 weeks.
It can happen. It happens.
Hey.
It will be true,
so
that is why.
You know why? Because just normal 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
Menses, you feel so uncomfortable, but I hope it doesn't pain. Like
it depends. What doesn't pain? When you are normal menstruation, it pains.
Wait, you are scaring me.
I get it. No, it's something we cannot run away from. I get it.
More than 1 week, like that will be coming.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the individual. Some people, for me, I normally will go up to sometimes into the 14th day. I get him. So that is where, if your nutrition, you are not paying particular attention to your diet, nutrition, and especially the iron, you imagine losing all this and not replacing it. How much can you do to support you and your baby? I get it.
Cry.
Don't cry. It's a blessing.
I don't know,
yeah, others is quite short. I get me.
So after that,
and the color changes. It keeps changing.
Just like the normal.
It keeps changing. Then before you know, it's dried up.
So after the normal one, like after the 1 or 2 weeks, the blood stops. It has to take like 2 or 3, or even up to 6 months before your normal menses starts coming again.
That is if you are practicing exclusive breastfeeding. I get me. Yes, it can go beyond 6 months. Some people, I have a
I learned something up to 1 year. Yeah.
Some 1 year, 6 months. Some 8 months.
So at that point that you are not menstruating, and you also did exclusive breastfeeding, does it mean that you can't
pick seed
even while you are having sex with your husband?
Yes. Well, you're not ovulating.
So what if you didn't do exclusive?
I know the baby.
So when you don't do exclusive, your menses will start coming again.
It starts coming. I get it. So once the menses starts coming, the cycle has begun. So you can easily pick seed.
That was some point that children is 9 months or 10 months. You say, oh, they are they become, because you didn't do exclusive.
Some pick seed as early as 3 months after birth. Yes.
So they don't do exclusive.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do exclusive and still pick seed after 3 months?
It's rare. It's rare. Then I believe you have not those conditions. You have missed some of the conditions. You are sneaking and giving some small food. And when it's like that,
maybe grind water.
The amount of breast milk that the baby takes. Okay, you know, as much as
the people who are always holding your baby.
Yes, that's another thing.
Because so the baby mothers or mothers in the village, when a child just starts coughing, oh, give her water. Then by the time you take your child, they won't tell you that I've given, or because they are afraid of your reaction. They will say, oh, I didn't give the baby water, and then
or they are bathing. They are bathing and they are dropping small inside the baby's mouth. You will not notice it. I get to be so.
My baby.
For me, I'm always sitting there like a watch woman. I'm monitoring the bathing as well, so that you don't sneak anything inside there.
But don't you think that maybe education to educate the one bathing, or still?
Look, as for education, in terms of exclusive breastfeeding, I'm sure the education has gone down well. It's about behavior change. People are not willing to change it. And sometimes we, the health workers, compound the situation.
Some of you don't do
We don't believe. Some of us don't believe in it.
And so when I can be like, oh, after 5 months you can, oh, after 4, I've heard those things. After 4 months, cry, you can even start. Some will even say that, oh, it's the most important is the first 3 months.
It's wrong. It's not right.
So the health professionals who are helping us to do the wrong things today, I beg, help us to do the right things.
I like that. Please say that again.
The health professionals who are helping us to do the wrong things today, help us to do the right things. Let's go for a break. We'll be right back.
Praise the Lord.
Like a rainbow, so my life made colorful. If you don't know, a life with this man is beautiful. Sing to the glory of God.
Sing to the glory of God.
Sing to the glory of
God. Sing to the glory of God.
It's He I know. Everywhere I go, it's He I see. Anything I do, it's He I go. Seeking first all things you shall get.
So me, I won't forget about the husbands and the boyfriends. Look at all these things that we are seeing. She would bleed for about 2 weeks, and she has to still eat well. And you don't want to help your wife or your girlfriend. Ladies, I beg you, before you date a guy, ask him some of these questions. Whether if you are pregnant, he will do some things for you. And I don't want to go. No wonder some people will pretend that they are pregnant so that their husbands will treat them well. If you are treated as well, we will pretend that we are pregnant. Oh, like I'm getting so emotional about this because it's like we are always at the family planning is women. Pregnancy is us. After giving birth, it is us. So, men, I beg you, please, I beg you, for me to kneel down for you. Pay extra attention to your wife. Once a while, buy them flowers, buy them chocolates, buy them guinea. If you're in Canada, go to buy a hair.
Mother, now you're talking. Yes. Don't buy them flowers. Buy us eggs, chicken, fish, fruits, vegetables.
Okay.
Give us those ones. I get it. That is what we need more than flowers.
After
flowers will not give me
buy
blood.
us new cars. so that okay, that's just by the way. But I mean, appreciate us. It's not easy. There was this thing when I was at PPAG. There was this thing that came up, and then I don't know whether that's the same thing as the silicone whatever that we see these days. The one that people wear like pregnancy. Like when they wear it, does it feel heavy like pregnancy?
No, it's not heavy. Just that it protrudes.
Okay, so there was this that came from the Netherlands, and okay, we saw the videos, but those in Accra felt it. It's like something like a machine. So they put it on you, and there are 2 types. One that's like they control it like to make it feel like menstrual cramps. Then there's one like pregnancy. So there's a first trimester, second trimester, then the last trimester, then labor. So they tried it on most of the men for them to feel
what we go through.
And like it was so hilarious. You could imagine men going through labor, and that was like even an artificial form, not the natural form. Go and Google that. Check that on YouTube and see some videos for yourself. Yeah, so let's get back into the discussion from where you stopped.
So we are getting back. We are recovering from the pregnancy.
Yeah,
we have lost a lot of blood. Whether you like it or not, after birth you lose blood. So you would need to be particular about foods that will give you blood again, and also continue to take your medications okay, as part of the recovery process, so that your body would come back to its normal form.
Okay.
And you equally prepare the body for the next pregnancy. Okay. Then we are looking at eating to remain healthy so that you can go through the exclusive breastfeeding phase. Because look, it's a lot of work, a lot of energy, it saps a lot of energy. Okay, so you need to continue to maintain eating the 4-star diet so that you, the mother, is healthy enough to go through that. If not, as for the baby, he or she doesn't care.
Like some babies, so it gets to a point they are sick, they can't eat well. What should their mothers do?
So that is caring for a sick baby. But if the mother is eating well, the baby would always come for the breast milk, whether you are okay or not. So you realize that some women lose so much weight in the first 6 months of the baby's life. Okay, because they are not eating enough to maintain their own health. But the baby will keep coming. So your body would break itself for you to get the energy to be able to breastfeed your baby. So you are eating to maintain good health so that the action of breastfeeding doesn't put a strain on you. Okay. Others too would overeat and not do a lot of physical activity.
Some women sleep a lot during and after pregnancy. What is that cause?
Okay, so one of the things I can say is that many babies feed more at night. And when you feed more at night, okay, breast milk production is higher. You get it? So when you are doing that, so for some of us that do it like that in the daytime, that's when you will be sleeping. And the babies are so interesting. When they would not, some of them will sleep very well in the night. And the daytime that you want to sleep, they are coming back. So that's why the support is needed. So that when they are fed, breastfed, and they are somebody is taking care of them, then the mother can rest. Because rest is very, very important. Breastfeeding is a psychological thing. It's a mind thing. When you are mentally unstable, it affects the quality of breastfeeding. It even goes to the extent to affect the productivity, breast milk production. So the mother needs to get enough rest and be emotionally stable so that she can have time to feed the baby, so that when you are carrying the baby around, you'll be proud that that's my baby. There are some people, they hide their babies. I get it. Because the baby is deficient, it's malnourished. You are introducing the baby to other forms of food earlier than the baby's system can tolerate. I get it.
So let's go back to a bit in pregnancy. A lot of we the ladies coming up, we want to live a particular lifestyle in a generation. So maybe at 15 years, I started bleaching my skin. And I'm pregnant. I want my baby to, because the baby, as you be my boyfriend or my husband is dark, I'm fair. Or something, or my boyfriend is fair, I'm fair. That's a match. But because of the genetic things, the baby comes out dark. They will say I cheated on my husband or other things, and I go to take tablets so that the baby in the womb will become fair before he or she even comes out. How does that affect nutrition? And how can we tell our I'm saying young people because most of our mothers and aunties, I don't think you could knew those things, or even if you know, you won't do. But those in our 20s that we want to swag, we want our children to also come and be swagging. So what can you tell us so that we'll stop doing those things? Because if you even eat well, and that drug can even affect the baby.
Yeah, so you see, bleaching, anything that interferes with the natural occurrence of your skin or anything, tells that it is destroying the natural composition of the body. So look at you, the adult, your skin has toughened. And these chemicals or this drug can go and cause a change in the tone. Look at a baby who is still developing. These drugs are chemicals that have been put together. Okay, they can go in there and change the chemical composition of your baby system. And they can affect the organs that are being formed in the baby. So you may not have a certain health condition in the generation, in your entire generation, but because of one action of yours, your baby comes out with such a condition. And you will not understand where it started from. It could be out of the things that you have taken that has gone to cause that, because we cannot see in there the things that are happening. You only see the baby when the baby is born out, unless in the very advanced places where technology can let you see that. But even with that, once the malformation is taking place, beyond a certain period, nothing can be done about it. So we need to be very, very cautious. Fashion would fade. Fashion is always changing. I get it. Today we are crazy for.
Has arrived.
Yes, we are crazy about light skin. A time is coming we will be very crazy about dark skin. So what are you going to do? Are you going to paint your child with charcoal, or you are going to drink charcoal?
So we're buying iPhone 12. I wonder what they will do.
Are you getting it? Yes. So listen, the baby is not able to make choices for themselves. We make those choices for them. But trust me, if we make the wrong choices for them, it will come back to haunt us.
Okay. Of course, it will always come back to haunt us. Jennifer, what are some of the basic tips that you think that are, I don't want to use the word, okay, for lack of better words, rural women who are not in a very enlightened places should know? Some of them do not really even have the hospital. They have the chief's compound.
Chips.
How can they still stay very healthy while they are pregnant? We see a lot of them. They even have to carry them on wheelbarrows to other hospitals.
Yeah. So our women in the rural areas, most of the times they mostly do everything on their own. They have no support. So we rather encourage family support for them, because it's not easy carrying pregnancy, going to the farm, doing all those things. Yeah. And then we'll suggest that they make do with what the little they have available. Yes, the little food they have available. You don't really have to eat a rich food in order to be healthy. You just need.
When you say rich, as in money.
Yes,
okay,
expensive in your feeding. You can still use the little things you have, the yam, the tomatoes, the pepper, the meat, the fish, anything. You can still eat it and then you still be healthy. And then I'll advise that they still go to the chief's compound. They go there. If you have any problems, you can talk to any health professional there. I'm sure they'll give you advices on anything you want to do. And also, the husbands should reduce the stress that they put on the women, help them to become physically active so that they can bring forth babies that are healthy.
Okay, we have just about 3 minutes to wrap up. It's been a long discussion from last week. Let me just take, before I go, what are your final words to anyone watching us about pregnancy and nutrition?
So what I would say is that you don't have to be pregnant to start good nutrition. You should start it before you even plan to get pregnant. And after that, you should continue to eat healthy, take your supplements. As a female, you need to take your iron, your folic, everything. You need to make sure that you are in shape. You have to eat well, you have to stay healthy and live a healthy life.
And live a healthy life, of course, Madam Felicia.
Yes, so what I would say is that let's not be interested in the ceremony after birth. Not the sooner, the
say
outdoor.
That one again.
we save all the monies
on dresses,
on the clothing,
yes,
on the outdoor. What if the baby doesn't come? How will you outdoor the baby? Let's rather invest that savings in ensuring that the baby in there is getting what he or she is due. so that
and
we can
after
eat
the
well.
adoring, the gifts that come,
Yeah,
they should invest that on the baby.
definitely.
And the mother.
And the mother. Okay, the women are saving the money. So you are talking about rural women. They do all the hard works and go and buy the makola, the cloth, the shoe, the this, and they are not eating well. Oh. They will not to buy egg and eat. She will buy rather.
They feel like looking good is a new edge. How you appear at ceremonies makes you more important.
No, let's start. We need to have a different mindset. I get me. That is why these what's the name? Our indicators are not. There's so much interventions going on, but our indicators are going down. I get me. We need to relook at homes and families need to relook at the way things are being done and not put a lot of strain on the woman. There was an instance I heard that in some cultures the woman would have to fend for the guests that will come for the ceremony. So she's doing all this work, pregnant and carrying heavy loads all around to save money.
Don't do that. You
They
are
will
not
insult
a marriage
you.
material.
They will insult you. But what if you do all that and you go to give birth and you don't come out?
And you have to
Because-
still go to the farm while they are pregnant.
Yes,
And
so-
when you fall sick and they admit you that 1 or 2 days, they say you want to dodge work.
So please, I'm encouraging that let's take very, very, let's be interested in what we eat than in what we wear. So that the children that we are giving birth to or we are producing would be able to also take care of us when we age.
Exactly, our kids need to grow and take care of us as we age, because we need to make sure that we have healthy children. We are healthy ourselves. You know why? This man, I'm not married. I've never been married, but I'll get married one day. But what I have seen and what I have heard, if you do not take care of yourself and you labor and you die, if you're in northern region, after they bury you today, tomorrow, he will cry like 1 day, 2 days. The next 1 month, there will be another ceremony in your husband's house. It won't be adore or anything for your baby. It's going to be marriage of second wife or your replacement. I am just saying that we need to be very careful about some of these things. I have been speaking with Madam Felicia Adamso. She is the head of nutrition at the Tamale Central Hospital here in Tamale. And Miss Jennifer Mwakon, she's a student nutritionist here also in Tamale. Last week and this week, we have looked at nutrition in pregnancy or pregnancy and nutrition. We've had a very wonderful discussion. My name is Martha Anabila. I'll be back with thoughts from Martha Inspired. Do stay tuned. So today on Thoughts from Martha Inspires, this topic has really made me a bit emotional, and as a woman I'm worried, and I've been asking myself whether the work I have been doing for the past 6 years on empowering young women, empowering ladies has really been worth it. Because when we look at nutrition or in the area of health and how we get treated when we get pregnant, especially because we are not financially strong enough to take care of ourselves in some of these things, keeps me wondering. Young women out there, let me concentrate a bit on widows who are not married but are having sex. And you have at the back of your mind that having sex would almost automatically result in pregnancy. And you don't even have a plan for yourself. When you are married, even though people plan that, okay, this week we are having sex to plan to have a baby, but you and I, when we are having sex, we're just having sex because we want to have fun. We are not even planning to even have a baby. What are your plans when you are pregnant? You want to go for an abortion? Even when you are keeping it, do you just want to keep the belly keep growing, or you have a plan to have the right opportunities to see healthcare professionals, please, we need our babies alive and strong. We need our babies coming out healthy and strong. We are tired of always, excuse me to say, donating monies for babies who are coming up. Of course, some are other issues, but from what we have learned today, I believe that some of these things or predicaments can be reduced. Let's come to blood. People struggle to get blood for pregnant women in labor. And I believe that if you are pregnant and you eat well, you wouldn't need someone to donate their blood for you, because it's expensive. It's very, very expensive. So I beg you, eat well. I understand that the economy is becoming a bit tough for all of us, but it's better to save your life and your baby's life than to carry a pregnancy for 9 months and lose your baby, or lose your wife, or lose both of them, or you are with complications for months or years. I'm getting so emotional that I really wish that this episode will keep you reflecting. Go back home, sit with your wife, sit with your husband, sit with your whole family, and think through. And people here in the northern region, we are not poor. Our green leaves are available for us to eat. Our dawa is available. Let's make use of the little that we have. Our children need to grow well and strong for us. This has been Thoughts from Martha with Spice, and I believe that my thoughts will propel you to take the right decisions. If you are in Tamale, walk to the Tamale Central Hospital and ask of Madam Felicia Danson. Ask of the nutritionist.
There are several of us.
And the nutritionist will be able to help you follow the right steps to be able to have your baby healthy, strongly energized. Thank you for watching the show. Until same time next week, do stay tuned. I am Martha Anabila.